So I recently came across a video from a popular influencer, that honestly left me feeling some type of way. So this influencer, she was upset because her married friend declined an all expense paid treat, tickets and a five-star hotel stay that she had booked for them to spend some time together. Now, instead of this influencer, to simply respect her friend's decision, she suggested that the friend's husband must have been the reason behind the no that she got. So, what troubled me wasn't just her frustration, but how quickly people in the comments began attacking the husband of her friend, calling him insecure, controlling, an enemy of progress, and all whatnot. And the truth is, nobody actually knew whether he was even involved in that decision. And the Bible talks about this kind of behavior in Proverbs 18, verse 13, where it says, "He that answereth a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him." We live in a time where assumptions spread faster than facts. And once a narrative is created, it rarely gets questioned. But here's what also weighed on me. Even if the husband was uncomfortable, why is that automatically evil? The thing is, marriage changes things. When people are married, their decisions no longer, it's no longer theirs alone to make, because two become one. Two people that are married, they become one flesh. And another thing I noticed in the comment section is that I noticed that somehow the conversation quickly degenerated into a gender war. Women talking about autonomy and nobody can question me. Men talking about control and authority. It became loud, defensive, and frankly speaking, divided. And I kept thinking, this is not what God designed. Biblical marriage is not about domination. It's also not about rebellion. It's about love, sacrifice, unity, and mutual submission under Christ. Ephesians 5 verse 21 says, "Submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God." That is God's primary design for marriage. See, the Bible tells wives to submit, but in the same breath, it commands husbands to love their wives as Christ loved the church. Christ gave his life for us. He sacrificed his life. And the Bible says that husbands should display the same character. That kind of love is sacrificial. It's not controlling, it's not harsh, and it's not ego-driven. And the world we live in today, the world will mock a man who loves sacrificially. They will call him a simp. The world will also mock a woman who honors her husband. They will call her a pick-me. But sometimes obedience to God looks foolish to culture. The Bible says that the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. You can find that in 1 Corinthians 3 verse 19. Also, lately, I've noticed more and more content that subtly undermines marriage. Men being encouraged to cheat, upgrade, and deal treacherously with their wives. And women being encouraged to withhold intimacy as punishment or to operate as if they are single while married. Everything is, framed as empowerment, but underneath, it does feel like rebellion against God's covenant. Marriage is not casual to God. It reflects Christ and his church, and that's why it's constantly under pressure. When marriages are strong and rooted in God, children are often more secure. And when families are stable, society is healthier. That's not just tradition, that is God's design. As Christians, we can't just absorb every trending ideology without measuring it against the Bible, trying to see what the Bible has to say about such ideologies. You see, Romans 12 verse 2 says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." So if you are a Christian man, ask yourself, am I loving my wife like Christ loves the church? Patiently, sacrificially, faithfully? And if you are a Christian woman, ask yourself, am I honoring my husband in a way that reflects trust in God? And honestly, all of us should be praying more about our marriages, present or in the future. Because right now, culture is very loud, like very loud. But God's design hasn't changed. God does not change. God has not changed his standards. The Bible says, Jesus Christ the same yesterday, today, and forever. God's design does not change. Kingdom marriage isn't about ego winning. It's about two people dying to self daily and choosing covenant over pride. And that kind of marriage may not trend online, but it honors God. Who would you rather honor, God or the world?